Cover to cover.
What is going on?
So lonely down here by myself.
Lonely.
We're in the cheap there.
We're absent. We're absent a panel member this evening.
Maybe rest in peace.
Maybe he'll pop in. Maybe.
Maybe he gets one time.
Anyway, tonight, Blue Oyster Cult first album.
Before we completely get started, I was talking to him car ride yesterday, and he was the only bit of information I got from him about the album was he said that he thought it sucked, and he listened to it all the way. He tried to put it on, and he couldn't get through it. So that's what he said about it.
Was he being? What is it? What's that word? Facetious or
facetious?
Yeah. No, I think he was telling the truth.
Okay. All right. Okay, Donnie, why did you pick this album?
I'm almost afraid to say now. So
let us know.
This is one of my top 5 albums. It's probably one of the centerpiece albums that fueled my passion for early 70s rock. And I'm going to piggyback on what Boat just said, that what he just relayed from Jim. It took me I would say half a dozen spins before I really got into this album. It just one day I was at work, and all of a sudden the opening track, Transmit Icon, just popped into my head, and I'm like, maybe I'm starting to like this album, which I spent money on it, so I kind of better like the freaking thing. But it's one of those albums that really grew on me. And I guess there's a certain flavor within the album, call it maybe the Byrds or the Flying Burrito Brothers, and if you're not into that style of music at all, you're probably not going to like this album. But if you check out some of their later albums, like the follow-up album, Tyranny and Mutation, got progressively heavier with each album. And by the time you get to Secret Treaties is a really, really solid, heavy album. And it's kind of a progression for them. And I saw something where they are Blue Oyster Cult is just it's just that. It's a cult favorite. Mm-hmm. But they are the favorite metal band for people who hate metal.
Yeah, I was listening to the album and stuff on YouTube, and I was reading the comments, and people are talking about this album like it was like a super heavy album, which I thought was kind of weird. I don't know if they were just older people or
so yeah, you have to think
like later on, playing it later.
Right. You have to think in terms of what year this came out. This came out in 1972.
Yeah.
So it was very early in 1972. And in terms of what was heavy, now you had Black Sabbath, you had Blue Cheer, you had Mountain. They were pretty heavy bands. But the culture and the the music aesthetic, the music of that era. This was considered a heavy, especially when you get to songs like Cities on Flame. That's a pretty heavy song.
Yeah, some of the later stuff in the album, I was kind of reminded by Machine Head, Deep Purple a lot. Listened to the later half of the album. I kind of got in the mood to listen to that again.
Dude, that's a very good comparison. Deep Purple.
Yeah,
that's a very good comparison.
I forget what one of the songs was.
Especially this. Yeah, Donnie, when did Don't Fear the Reaper, Burning for You, when did those, were those later? How far
yes,
later?
They were later.
Like 6th album, 5th album?
Don't Fear the Reaper was on Agents of Fortune, which is their 4th album.
Okay.
And Burning for You is much later. That was off of Fire of Unknown Origin, which is their 8th album, I think.
It's almost, and do you still consider that heavy, or that's more pop? Or how would you consider those?
That song aside, I would consider that album maybe heavy, but it also had that 80s feel to it because it
had more commercial feel to it.
Yeah, that 80s commercial. It came out in 81.
Okay.
Fire of Unknown Origin. So, but they had other albums.
Is that the same singer?
Same singer, yeah. Now, in terms of singers, it wasn't just Eric Bloom. Eric Bloom was the lead singer, but go back to Cities on Flame. That was sung by Burchard, the drummer.
Okay.
Don Roser, the guitarist, he sang a couple of the songs. So they were a cohesive band. They did what's the word, like teammates, like teamwork.
Yeah.
And I guess supposedly back in the day, the drummer would play towards the end of their shows. He would have a guitar on his back, and he would at the end of the show, during I guess their encore or whatever, right, their play out, he would jump over the drum kit, and they would all be fucking jamming. And it I guess their live shows were phenomenal back then too. So
that's what I was reading in like the comment section. People were talking about the live shows, like they were amazing.
Yeah. They're definitely a performance band, a jam band. Some of their songs not as wild as Iron Butterfly, but some of their songs they would jam out on extended plays and stuff like that.
And what was I doing? I was just about to say something. What the hell was I just about to say?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I was just about to say something. I can't remember.
What's up, Schulte? BOC is underrated. I agree. Freaking unruly.
Boat, have you ever heard one of their albums, or is this the first?
I've heard of them, and I'm sure I've heard songs on the radio, but
yeah, I only know.
I have seen the album cover before.
I think I only knew Godzilla, Don't Fear the Reaper, and Burning for You.
Yeah, Godzilla was on Spectres, I believe, which was the follow-up to Agents of Fortune. So that was like album 5, I think.
Okay.
How many albums did they make?
Dude, they're still touring. They're still touring.
Really?
Yeah. In 2020, they released their first album in 20 years.
Okay, so they're making a comeback.
Kind of, yeah. They went on a tour. It's not all the original members. They have three of the core members. I think Bloom, Roser, and Lanier.
And Bloom's the singer, right?
Bloom is the singer, yes.
Right.
Yeah. I don't believe either one of the Burchard brothers have been involved in 25 years with the band.
I didn't hear a lot of cowbell.
Me neither.
That was later.
That was later? Okay.
When did the SNL appearance happen?
In the 2000s, maybe the late
Was
1990, maybe the 90s, 96 or
Probably in
something.
the 90s.
Yeah, because Will Ferrell was still on the show.
Okay.
Dude, that was one of the most
98.
classics. One of the most
That's probably what I know him for is more cowbell.
Yeah, and
but
that's Christopher Walken's my favorite actor, so
he killed it in that one, bro.
perfect.
So tell us about the album, Donnie.
So this album, as I previously said, it was released January 16th, 1972. So it's just a little over 50 years old, about 51, head for 52. It was recorded in October of 71 at the Warehouse in New York City. It was released on Columbia Records, and it was produced by Murray Krugman, Sandy Pearlman, and David Lucas. And Sandy Pearlman was kind of a not a huge name, but he was a heavy back in the day. I guess kind of their manager of sorts, and they went through Blue Oyster Cult went through several different name changes. They started out as Soft White Underbelly.
I like that name, bro.
It's great.
It's great.
And they will play and they will introduce themselves as Soft White Underbelly from time to time. They will also introduce themselves as the Stock Forest Group, which was the last name they had before they changed it to Blue Oyster Cult. They had recorded under that name, but it was never released. They recorded with Elektra. Some of the songs were reworked or were released as extras on the CD releases. For instance, there's 3 tracks on 3 bonus tracks that were off of that Elektra work that are on the CD release. I have my copy is, so like I Am the Lamb, that was one of their a previous recording, and that later morphed into the Red and the Black on the follow-up to this, Tyranny and Mutation. Love that song. I think it's a great, it fits in line with their style. They're to me, they're that feel good type band. And that's how I see that song, as well as many others.
I could see that happening.
Why'd you have to get me started on the cowbell? Now, I guess going back to what we talked about earlier with my feelings, my initial feelings, and obviously Jim's initial feelings of the album. It got positive reviews, but it failed to crack the top 200 for quite some time. It didn't crack the 200 until May of 72. And even then, it only made it to, it only peaked at 172. So it didn't get that far, which to me denotes why the album sales are so low on it.
Was there a single? What's the single?
Yeah, Cities on Flames.
Okay.
So I don't know if maybe they would have pushed out another single off of it. if you know, I think Transmaniacon might have done well on radio play. I don't know if it would have pushed the album farther up the charts.
I had never heard any of these songs. No song. I had never heard any of it.
The only and this here's another thing, another reason that I got into this was Cities on Flame has been covered several times.
Okay.
One of them was a band called Iced Earth. Okay. And Iced Earth is a really great power metal band. And they covered the song on their Tribute to the Gods album, I believe it was. And that was one of the reasons that I picked this up. I was like, I want to hear, because I knew, Don't Fear the Reaper, Burning for You, Godzilla. And I was like, I'm gonna pick. So I picked the first 3 albums up, like spent the money, picked their albums up. And like I said, I was listening to this album and it took me a good half a dozen plays before it finally started to sink its teeth in. So it's a slow burn.
That's also how I felt about Machine Head.
Mm-hmm.
When I listened to that first couple of times, it wasn't clicking immediately, and it took a couple listens to really enjoy it. And now it's a top 10 of mine. So
it's the way it happens sometimes.
It takes time.
Yeah. So I heard it the day after our last show, and I'm with you, bro. I was like, I'm getting the Spinal Tap feels, I was like, oh. I heard one song and I was like, okay, I like this. And then I didn't hear it until today again. I've heard it 3 times today. And I heard it once with my son, my oldest. And he is, he's into rap. He doesn't listen to rock anymore, only when he's around me. He still likes some of the stuff that he remembers when he was a kid and he would hear, but he just listens to rap. And the rap from now, which is horrible, is what he listens to. And I heard it with him. And I started liking it. We were playing dominoes at his house, at his apartment, and I was like, okay. Came home, heard it again. Then I read the wiki, and then I heard it again. It grows on you. It really does.
Yeah.
And now I can't get one certain song out of my head. And I'll share more later. We'll
I want to talk. I guess we'll say about a couple of the songs that the meanings behind them. Like Transmaniacon was about Altamont.
okay.
The motorcycle club.
Yeah.
I'm the Lamb is about a fugitive being pursued by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. It was originally recorded in 1970 when the band was under yet a different name, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it.
I was about to say, how do you pronounce that name? Asako or Asaka or
your guess is as good as mine. It's kind of I don't know if it's Aka.
I tried to pronounce it too. It's weird.
It's like the Grateful Dead's third album. Nobody knows how to pronounce that one right either.
They did the other 2 names. I like Blue Oyster Cult, Soft White Underbelly, excellent. That other one, I'm glad they dropped it.
Yeah, Stock Forest Group. Yeah. And again, this was one of the ones that they recorded under that name for Elektra. and it was released. I was listening to that. That album's on YouTube. It's called the Saint Cecilia Electro Recordings.
That's how I felt just with the drugs.
Released them as a compilation.
I kept coming inside, and I looked at Boat, and I said, I don't care how many times you want to come in the house.
I don't know if you want to mute yourself, Boat.
What I did?
No, we're hearing background stuff.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to have that heard. Not that it was anything bad, but
then came the last days of May. You when you get right into that song, it's kind of sad.
it is. I read what it's about. It's pretty...
because they were friends of Don Roser's, who went on a drug run, and it didn't turn out the way they wanted it to.
Right.
And that when you listen to the lyrics, he tells the story of what happened as he formulated it out of the article that he read.
That's my favorite song on the album.
It's damn good.
It's a damn freaking good song, dude. That's the one. When that one kicked in, I was like, "Oh shit, I like this."
It's a well written song,
right?
And
really
it's
good.
Both musically and lyrically.
Yeah.
Just the play on it is.
Yeah, it's a really good song.
Phenomenal. It's a great.
It's a freaking jam, dude. It jams. It's a really good song.
Before the Kiss, a Red Cap was based on a common bar that they played.
Go lay down.
And it explains the title as originating in an event witnessed by Sandy Pearlman, in which the titular drug that was passed between partners during a kiss. The term red cap was supposedly slang for a type of barbiturate.
Okay.
And red cap usually referred to the drug Dalmane, whatever that is. Never heard of it.
Yeah.
And then obviously Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll was a Sandy Pearlman penned track in conjunction with Don Roser and Albert Bouchard, and it was the lead single, the only single. The riff was inspired by Black Sabbath's "The Wizard," and the more you listen to it, the more you can hear some of the Sabbath influence.
Dude, listening to this album, I got that a lot.
Yeah,
especially what was the track? Screams. That to me sound like Planet Caravan, like a lot. Like
yeah.
that intro.
Oh my god, yes, bro.
That's probably one of my favorite Sabbath songs. That song's awesome.
Oh, I love that song, dude. I could hear that. There's a thing on YouTube that just has that Planet Caravan for like 8 hours, and it's just on loop. I put that before and just let it play all day, dude.
Someone did a cover. It might have been Pantera did a cover of it.
That's probably my favorite Sabbath song.
I think Planet Caravan's been covered quite a few times.
But listening to this album, I got the feels like that. I've heard this riff or something quite like it. You know, it reminds me of this. This reminds me of that. And
it was almost like they took a bunch of albums that were out that time and just like remixed them and had like their own spin on it.
Yeah, I got that feel too.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Besides Spinal Tap, I got a big Heavy Metal, the movie feel. I know they used Blue Oyster Cult in that movie.
Yeah.
And it might have been one of these songs that maybe I have heard this. I don't know if it was. I know it was Blue Oyster Cult was in that film, and I got the feels listening to this as well.
Trying to think, where is it? That song was used on. There was a video game that was used on.
Oh, I read that Rock Band. One of the rock bands had it.
Yes.
Yeah, I read that.
Critically, there was only one negative review, and that was Martin Popoff. He criticized the limp and lifeless guitar sound, which I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, because
Yeah,
I think
I don't get that.
I think Don Roser's an underrated guitarist.
Honestly, dude, I'm not crazy about the lyrics in this album, but the music, I love all the music. They jam, and I could tell if it was just instrumental, it was cool. It's when, like, the one song that stuck in my head is "She's Beautiful Like a Foot." Dude, then I read the lyrics as I was listening to it. I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous.
I did not get to read any lyrics.
It's so Spinal Tap, but
we need like to a review on Spinal Tap for.
Yeah,
for
I think we gotta do Spinal Tap, dude. We gotta do a movie review on Spinal Tap.
It's overdue.
But dude, it works. The freaking music, the musicians. I love the melody. I love everything about the song. And then the more I hear it, fuck, they're perfect lyrics, bro. They're perfect lyrics with the song. I cannot hear it now.
The thing, and so in conjunction with that song, there's a certain theme with them doing quirky songs like that. Quirky lyrics.
I never would have expected that, dude.
You know, it's something that they do. It's like a little.
It's probably my second favorite song on the album. That's probably my second, and Last Days of May is my first, man. Honest. I could listen to those. I could listen to the whole album. The lyrics is what I'm not crazy about.
This album is good background noise. I was in a video. It's good to just turn your brain off and listen to it in the background.
It's a jam. They jam, dude. That's like when you mentioned that they're almost like a jam band. I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. They're really it has a flow. It's not. That's why I'm like, dude, I didn't think they were heavy. I don't know. It's I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I didn't think so at the beginning. I didn't think I was. I think that's everybody's opinion, huh?
Yeah, I completely understand that. You know, it's one of those ones. if you can subject yourself to it, it's worth spending. You know, more than once.
You got to give it. You got to give it several chances.
Yeah, six times in my case. And now, look, I mean, it's one of my top 5. So, you know,
it's a jam. We're not even done, dude. We're still talking about this album. Tell us about the cover.
The cover
looks out of heavy metal, dude.
I couldn't find. I found an article that spoke briefly about it. The first 2 covers were done by a man by the name of Bill Gawlik. And he drove a taxi cab at night.
And he did somebody that they knew. He did album covers by day.
I guess I don't know. Naturally, I'm not prepared. I didn't pull the freaking cover up.
Oh, that's all right, man.
I really like the album cover on this, though.
It's
weird.
I got like it's
like a maze or something, right?
God damn it.
It looks like the artwork from Heavy Metal where the little nerd goes and he gets all muscular and he's got to fight the chick with the titties and all that, all her goons. And then he gets the hot chick at the end. That little story.
I get like an H.P. Lovecraft vibe when looking at it because it's got that. Oh damn yeah!
Oh, Journey's saying that the guy Golick did some work for Iron Maiden. Maybe.
Oh okay.
She's as beautiful as a foot. She's as beautiful as a foot.
Heard someone say the other day. You know, it's got that, and he also that Bill Golick also designed. I made
it up, bro. Fucking Journey.
Do your research. Oh, also, he also designed their iconic symbol, which is like a hooked cross with a dot in the center.
What's
It's
the meaning of
supposed to be reminiscent of the Greek god Kronos.
Okay.
But this here with the doors and shit, it kind of has a Doors of Perception feel. That's the first thing I thought of earlier when I was looking at it. I was like, the fucking Doors, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that is what they were shooting for. If the members of the band are Doors fans, or if that Bill Golick is a Doors fan, but that's just it's.
You know what it looks like?
On forever.
It looks like you're on the ground. It's looking up a skyscraper from like a street view.
Yeah. There's so many ways to interpret this.
Maybe those are just like lights on the ceiling or something. I don't know.
I think it's a cool cover.
I do think it as well. For some reason, the first time I saw it reminded me of the Tommy album cover with like all the weird holes.
I could see that.
It's a different view of it.
Ooh. Yeah, Floyd. I like the oyster right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's a mysterious looking album cover.
Very. But I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, you know, if nothing else, this is a nice piece of art. You know, it's one of those ones I'd like to pick up on vinyl. Sadly, I didn't pick it up yet, but
what are you guys' favorite songs? I'll tell you the one I don't like.
Okay, do it.
And the one I don't like is Workshop of the Telescopes.
Yeah, probably.
I didn't like that one. Even I was listening to with my son, like I said, and I was like, "What's the name of this one?" Because he had it on his phone and we were listening, and I go, "Okay."
Yeah, I don't hate it, but the one that I don't like, I guess it kind of grows on me. It depends on my mood. Is The Closer is Redeemed.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of Redeemed. It's too Flying Burrito Brothers. You know,
I don't think that one was bad, man. It was so different, right?
Yeah.
So
it's different. Like it's a mood song. It's
almost
my mood's right.
Yeah.
But I love The Last Days of May, but my favorite one is Stairway to the Stars.
I think I have to agree. That one stuck out. It's weird. I was listening to it, and then I was like doing some work around the house, and kept doing the chorus in my head. It's weird. kept coming back, leeching on my brain.
Yeah, I just that's another one I would find myself. I'd be at work. I'd be rolling through the racks, picking corrugate and going, "Stairway to the stars."
Totally heavy metal. Totally heavy metal, bro.
Yeah,
That's a totally heavy metal song.
it kind of puts me in mind of a softer Bad Company song.
Why do you think? Well, I'm sure I know why, but why would Unruly make that first comment? Blue Oyster Cult is just an REO Speedwagon side project. Why would he say it?
I don't know.
I think he was.
I guess I
Yes.
the original guitarist for REO has kind of a similar style for me to Don Roser.
I don't get no REO Speedwagon from listening to this album at all. Unless he was joking.
He probably was.
He's probably asleep by now.
He's a wise ass.
Yeah, he is. It's almost 9. Yeah, he's probably sleeping. But and your favorites, okay. I like this album, dude. I could listen to it again. I wasn't crazy about the first 2 songs, honestly. It's when Last Days of May kicked in is when I was like, okay, I get this groove. I like it. I love the musicianship. I'm not crazy about the lyrics. Mainly. You know that song Burning for You when they listening to B-sides, you know when they sing that? That's one of my favorite lyrics, the way he kind of before he says it.
Yeah.
He goes, B-sides. That's one of my favorite little things in a song. Every time it comes, it's like, God, I love that when that hits. When that hits, right? And it's like that's why I was asking you, where did those songs kick in? Because yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it either. The first two.
That's one of the reasons it took me a while.
Those first 2 songs don't hook me. But that's why I was asking you before, where did those songs come out? Because you could definitely see the lyrics, them getting better with the song and the whole structure of this. It's like those songs they got a more of a groove, more of a commercial groove to it. So you could almost see it. You don't see that here in this. It's like, that's why I asked you also, which one's the single? I wouldn't know which one will be the single.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it would be the Last Days of May.
Yeah.
That would be my single.
That would have been a great. That might have drove it a little bit.
A little better, but yeah, that song's really good. But I don't see any of the other ones being that song where it just grabs people on, just listening to it on the radio. Hey, listen to this. I just don't see that one song.
I don't see She's as Beautiful as a Foot getting AM radio play.
No, I don't see it, but still, that song is stuck in my head right now, dude.
It's too corny.
I like the song. When I first saw it, I go, wait, what is he saying? And then that's when I started looking at the lyrics, and the lyrics are ridiculous.
Yeah, very.
It's like, don't drink the blood from the heel or bite her on, or something about the foot and biting it, but the song is good.
Yeah.
But it sounds ridiculous. I don't see that. I wonder if
that's another one. And I think it's the only moment. No, there may be a couple other moments, but the fade in from screams into that song, I think is great production. That's just wonderful the way they did that.
But I love the playing. I love the playing. They jam. It's just for me, it's the lyrics, dude.
Yeah,
the lyrics. It's like you could see their growth when listening to those other, like even Godzilla. You could see the growth. It's like, okay, these, just catchier and. Yeah, I could see that. That's a great.
Yeah. I agree.
It's a slow burner, and when you're on the radio, You want to have stuff that grabs you instantly.
Yeah. There's nothing on this album I think that'll just grab people.
Because
it
okay,
puts the cult in cult classic.
Yeah.
it does really. But really, if you've never heard this album before and one of the songs came on the radio, would you really stick around the whole time to listen to it?
Probably not.
If you already don't enjoy the album or like the kind of music that it is, probably change the channel maybe.
I could see people being into, Deep Purple, like you mentioned before. People that be into Black Sabbath, and if they're into that, they'll listen to this. But I don't see somebody coming from some other. Hey, man, let's listen. I don't see the crossover. I don't see the crossover here.
Yeah, and I think that's the main reason that it impacted me so much was the fact that it's in that same vein as those.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you already enjoy Black Sabbath and Deep Purple.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I also enjoy a lot heavier stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, Venom. Case in point, Immortal.
It's your jam. It's totally we see why it's one of your top fives. Definitely, it's in your wheelhouse, bro. It's what you love, and it's good. It sounds like a jam band. I like the instruments. I like the musical, the musicianship.
Real good musicianship.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So your dad didn't like it?
No, and I quote, he said, "I thought it sucked."
See, I didn't think Jim was gonna like it.
No,
but
he did enjoy the Deep Purple album a lot, so just give it more time.
I'm gonna say it's too far to the Eagles on the spectrum.
It's
not the Eagles, but it's too close to them on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! When we drove up to Heroes, they play so much Eagles on the radio. Oh my God! I heard "Take It Easy." I don't know how many times. I heard "Evil." Wait, "Lying Eyes." I heard that like 10 times just driving up there. I didn't hear none of this album though. I didn't hear no Blue Oyster. No, I did hear "Burning for You" once.
How much Journey did you hear at that place?
I heard a couple, not as much as I thought. You would think. I heard a lot of Bon Jovi.
Oh, that's not even better.
No, it's worse.
There's only one reason that I like Journey, and that's because of Neil Schon. I think Neil Schoen's a great guitarist.
Dude, he's got some good solos, bro. The solo on what's the one song? Who's Hurting? Who's Crying Now?
Yeah.
The solo in that song blows me away every time he hits.
Yeah, he's a fantastic guitarist.
Yes, he is.
Played with Santana.
Yeah.
So
I know that.
Enough said.
So that was Blue Oyster Cult. Check this one out if you never checked it out.
A few times. Give it a chance.
Yeah, give it a chance. And they have 14 other albums.
God damn.
Go check them out. I definitely highly recommend Tyranny Mutations, Secret Treaties, and Agents of Fortune. Check out some of their deeper cuts like Club Ninja, Cultosaurus Erectus. They're pretty good. I hear Heaven Forbid is a very heavy album that came out in the 90s. I have not listened to that album, so I couldn't tell you. But it's one of those deals where I'm kind of working that way to try to check out. I was listening to Club Ninja a couple days ago, and I liked what I heard. Oh yeah, definitely.
Listen to the B-sides.
Yeah.
I can't wait for next week. I already heard the album again. And
You want to come or spin the wheel? Hold on, he's making his appearance. Here.
Well, we don't need to spin the wheel. It's the only one left on the album.
on the wheel.
What's up, guys? Just got out of the shower.
What's up, fucker?
What you said about the album? Oyster Cult.
Oh, Blue Oyster Cult. This album was very uneventful. There's not nothing that hooks you. There ain't no hooks in this album.
There's nothing. What's the single? What's the single?
The power button.
Which one's the single?
The power button.
The power button.
Nah, musically, it's great. It was on point.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, hold on, you got the thing pulled up here?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can remember the damn song.
Green
I
Jello.
think it was Then Came the Last Days of May. I kind of enjoyed that song a little bit, but man, that musically it was badass. But
it was badass, right? That one's badass.
Lyrically, it sucks.
But this album I just couldn't grab onto nothing. I couldn't. There's nothing that hooked me. There's nothing that like, yeah, I need to hear that again. So
did you listen to She's Beautiful Like a Foot? Listen to that one. That one musically.
I listened to it once at work, all the way through. Then I tried listening to it again, and I can't take this no more. I had to turn it off. And then I listened to it today on the way home to go to my other job. And I don't know.
You want to sit here?
No, it wasn't making my ride home any better because people at 5 o'clock traffic was pissing me off. But with that being said, I give it a thumbs down.
That's fine.
But that's not saying I don't like some of their other stuff, I mean, but I'm not super familiar with all their stuff, but like Don't Fear the Reaper and all that stuff, that's a badass song.
Yeah,
this album needed more cowbell.
That's been mentioned. That's been mentioned.
That's
been mentioned.
Late to the show.
More cowbell. It needed more cowbell, definitely.
So I gotta go sit down, guys. It was good.
Oh,
I just wanted to talk to this guy.
That was perfect. That was perfect, Jim.
All right. I can't wait for the next one. B-52s, right?
Yes.
B-52s.
Awesome. Can't wait. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
My poor body.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
I know how he feels. Yeah, so next week, the B-52s. This is one of Raul's picks. If you haven't heard it, check it out. You got a week to check it out and listen to it. I'm excited to talk about this one too.
I've not heard a drop of this album.
Okay, have you heard the B-52s before?
Probably on the radio, but I couldn't tell you what songs they were.
You don't even know what kind of style what we're listening to next week?
I kind of know the style, but
what's the style? What do you have in your head?
Rock-ish. Because I heard John Lennon really enjoyed the B-52s, and he considered it to be like punk, so I'm not even sure really what to do.
What you're going to hear?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So
okay. All right.
No, it's not Love Shack.
No, it's not Love Shack.
No,
It's Rock Lobster.
Why do you think we would do that? Are you
Yeah, we're
serious?
not doing Love Shack, but it is Rock Lobster. It's their debut album.
Okay.
It's their debut album, kind of like tonight's
Yeah.
debut album. All right.
It's the yellow one. Didn't they have one? Their second one red.
I don't know, man. I don't think I heard after this album. I didn't follow them.
Yeah.
They're not. They're a hard band to.
Yeah, it's like the Talking Heads. It's hard to place them.
Yes, to place them. They got some rockabilly almost. It's they got a big mix, bro.
Would you say they're like their new wave, or was that before?
Probably, that's a good one. New wave.
New wave post punk. Would you consider them to be post punk?
No, because they were in the late 70s, so.
Yeah, but Television's first album was like in '74, and they're considered one of the first post-punk bands.
That's true.
You know what? I think you're gonna have fun listening to them. We'll see.
That's another fantastic album.
Yeah, it's weird that they consider post-punk before punk really even started in the U.S. or even in the U.K.
Yeah, I agree, Donnie. I think the Talking Heads is probably the best. So does the Journey.
Yeah, I can dig that.
I could see the new wave. I could see a tinge of new wave. I could see a tinge of punk too, man. Not a lot, but
maybe there's even some progressive elements.
Yeah, dude, it's they're the B-52s, and this I heard it the other day. And maybe we could get Unruly for this. I know he likes this album.
Yeah.
If he's available, maybe he'll come on.
I'll see.
That'd be cool.
See what he's got going on.
Dude, it's got one of my favorite jams that it kind of gets crazy for a second, and I wish it was just kept on going crazy. And then all right. We'll see it for next week.
All right.
B-52s coming up.
B-52s. Get out there and listen to some music. Bing.